We know that islands are really vulnerable to invasive non-native species. Islands have just the most amazing, unique animals and plants, and these animals and plants are well adapted to island life, but they're not so well adapted to the other species that might come in and might displace them or compete with them in one way or another. And so they are sensitive to the arrival of these non-native species. And obviously, they're competing for space, they're competing for resources. Some of the species that are coming in are eating some of the other species. Most people will be aware that there have been rats and that there are rats, but it's been really amazing to hear about the incredible work that's been going on across the Falkland Islands and the rat eradication on some of the islands, leaving quite a number of them now rat-free. And that's really important for your seabirds because they can have a major impact. But actually one of the things that now I think is really exciting that's been shown about rat eradications is that can actually benefit the marine environment as well, because once the seabird populations start to recover, the nutrient flow from them into the oceans makes a really big difference in terms of the healthy functioning of the surrounding seas. So that's really exciting to hear about those successes here. But of course there are plants as well. So for example, we've been talking quite a lot about the calafate, for instance, and the problems that that's causing in a variety of different ways, both to the farming community, but also to people wanting to walk through certain areas where it's become quite scrubby. So we've been talking quite a bit about that species as well. These are really dynamic systems, and we know that we have compiled all this information on the non-native species as far as we know at the moment, but we know that's going to change very rapidly. There'll be new species arriving, and it's important that we keep that system up to date. But it's also really important that we take the action to try and slow down the spread of invasive non-native species around the world. And I think that's a really important message, is that this is a cause of environmental change that we can do something about. We can take responsibility for our biosecurity. It's been really wonderful to see all these stations around where we can wash our boots before we go out and walk somewhere, and that's really important. But we can also check that we're not having the seeds of some of the invasive plants attached to our boots or our clothes in any way, so that we're not then moving them around. So we're just making sure that we're clean when we move to a next site. So I think that, yeah, it is a dynamic situation, but it's one that we really can take action and we really can do something about. And when we hear about the wonderful work in terms of creating these sort of rat-free islands and then the boom in seabird populations, that's just magical.